the first to know. Nsem-Pii TV.
Yankopon ayadom the Ghana Police Service ede krata abasisi ya just 5 minutes ago. Omo kire mu a accident no a esi Tama Mpakadan rail line no. Kia driver no a okopa Kia across a rail line ya car kwan bi na ho. Na owie ye no mo hu picture ni bi no. Wasan ya bu ni ti ne dia to so. Appear dear film, knowing very well, say Ghana Railway Authority. I yet about the rule consistently bear 3 days in this mobile test run. It will rain so nanso nya could draw packets are tracking it will rain so for reasons best known to him. No, the Ghana Police Service Chirimua or matching. He's been arrested. Now, according to the Ghana Police Service, na a Hyundai truck. Ya registration number no ye GS 901820. Na driver ni no de Shaibu Inusa. Na omu kire mu a kwan of us for park Kia truck no on the rail line. Eno na kwan accident esi ye involving diesel multiple unit train. Ya yakoto no mono chiao. Edia free Poland abruchimemu yenya kura nyusu ye on the test run. Na police say omo preliminary investigation I established the fact say the suspect driver left the said vehicle unattended on the rail line for reasons best known to him, leading to a collision with the train. Just say Osheda eja Kia track no across the rail line. Ya just say one year na dwene kura say okọ ho akoye bibia unattended to. One year na dwene say okọ ho akoye bibia. He just left the track unattended to. Ya lead to the accident a newly acquired diesel multiple unit modern train. E mono chiawo ya hwe animu senka engineers be ye test run ehunu say bibia ye adwuma na afia sha ase ye adwuma na nei ya wo say engineers san atwene dese e de ko back to tema eko service a trainer enyampo enya adwuma na police so mo conduct further investigation now as the Kia truck driver still the explanations enya so clear as to adhere about the trimu a newly constructed rail track otumi ko jade ne disi susa ja hono sa knowing very well say ye conducted test run so ontumi emfa any meaningful explanation emfa mind. According to the Ghana Police Service, series of investigations is still ongoing into the incident. Ya omo ehwe ni mo say any other information that pops up omo de bebre Ghana for. Now another question. Ya Ghana for do na ebusa ne say why any take a picture of the track before the accident? Ya wo say baby a ya packet track no is across a rail line. Ya nipa ni nimpefe say test run is going on that rail line. Na emom when you be asu tree train you be ramp into this track. Yeah ni akoso this accident. Why they take that picture? Because picture na ba bonten ya ye say track ni so ya ni tina yesi. Into why they take that picture? And also assemble ko enipa bi ebisa enti all in all the bese bia no ye de ebebrem ba don't dey yen konkotie nchiremu kakran so a the Honorable John Peter Mawu enso edemai about the arrest of the driver vis-a-vis Nsem-Pii a SCC.
We're told eyewitness said categorically that they saw the Kia driver. He drove his truck. Then went and parked straight across the rail line, came down from the car, and then vanished. And so nobody knows what prompted him to do that. The intention is not quite clear. I don't want to read any ill motives into it at this stage, but I can assure you that the police are in charge of the investigations, and at the appropriate time will feed Ghanaians with what actually happened.
Was the test run publicized so that someone may know that a train is going to pass through a certain point at a certain time? And I'm talking about possibility of someone doing this on purpose. Was this test run advertised or publicized?
Well, of course, the engineers, they normally use this, the the maintenance track on the line. So, of course, they inform people, by that this thing is going to be conducted. And this is a train line, which the maintenance vehicle always slide on it. So, yes, of course, communities along knows that this process is ongoing.
Could there also be a possibility that they do not know that it's going to be used by a regular train? Because, it's a new line, which
I
I
agree perfectly with you, but as our culture needs to change as a country. You don't, this is a train line. It's been constructed not quite long, but they are constantly, the maintenance track, run on that line almost every day. So, under no circumstances would you have to drive your car and park on it.
Even the line.
The maintenance track. I was on the maintenance track just about 2 days ago. We taking a drive from Tema to Mpakada. We had to stop almost about 5 stops because people were sleeping on the line. People were, doing all kinds of things, drying. People were washing their things and drying in across the line. So I agree that we need to do a lot of education, as human as we are, and people from, this part of the world. We will continue to do that kind of education, which I agree perfectly with you.
Even busy lines like the one at ay3hu is a place where goods are exhibited for sale. People only move them when the train is coming. So it's really going to be a difficult one. I don't know what you're going to do because you can't police the track every day, 24 hours a day. And at intersections that you have done overpasses, that shouldn't be a problem. But because you have a lot of intersections where roads are crossing the rail line, I don't know what you're going to do. Maybe level crossings. How are you going to deal with that? Put people at those stations. It's going to be a lot of work, isn't it?
This particular line is a modern line. If you look at the underpass and the overpasses that have been constructed along this line, we don't expect anybody to cross this train line. The designers have taken all this into consideration. So if you ride down from kilometer 0 to, Mpakada, you see a number of underpasses and overpasses. Okay. So this is not like the old ones where you have, people crossing left and right. If you want to cross and the train is moving, you either go underpass or you go overpass, depending on the kilometer at which you are. As much as we continue to do the education and the training of the people around, it's also expected that as a country, we should begin, to change some of this attitude. I agree with you that the old lines people are there, but those ones, because there are no underpasses and overpasses, this one has been constructed to fit the modern practices, so we have to adhere to the culture of, doing the right thing.
Let's talk about this new train you were test driving or test riding today. We brought it from Poland. Is it for us? Is it for some private person? Tell us the story around this new train we have.
This is purchased by His Excellency Nana Akufo-Addo's government for the good people of Ghana. So it's not for any other person. It's for the people of Ghana and for the Republic of Ghana, So it's our train. It's part of the aggressive agenda by His Excellency to make sure that we revitalize our railway sector. So it's for us Ghanaians, and it's going to be run, by Ghanaians. Training has been conducted, and I can assure you that this would, add a number of value to the people who live there in terms of their transportation down to Accra.
Can we know what the terms of purchase are? Did we buy it on a loan? Did we pay upfront?
It was an outright purchase. It was an outright purchase, and it's going to be run by Ghanaians.
So it will belong to the Railway Development Authority. How much did we buy this train for, please? And how many coaches do we have?
I'm not in a position, but I think that one of them is in excess of about 7 million, if I'm right.
Dollars or cedis?
Yes.
Dollars. So we bought two trains.
Yes, please.
How many coaches per train?
This is not for freight. This is for passengers. So this is a DMU. We call it diesel multiple unit.
Okay. The next question is coming through from Francis in Accra. He says, please ask the minister about ay3hu buses. If government could not manage common buses, how much more trains, which are more costly? The person is talking about maintenance. How are we going to maintain this new beautiful train?
That is why I stated earlier about the culture. The person who asked the question asked a very brilliant question. And it depends on his culture also as a citizen of this country. So our culture of maintenance, we're going to improve on it. I agree with him perfectly. But I think that person may also have the same deficiency. So as a country, let's all look into that.
Okay.
But I can promise that, there are mechanisms in place to make sure that the particular train is maintained.
Okay. There's a question again from another person who is interested on the line to Amasaman, the Nsawam line, and says I should ask you if you are aware the theft of the Kotoku railway tracks. People are stealing the metals that are used for that line because it has been out of use for months now, if not years.
Yes, filtering has been going on for some time now. Even just yesterday, we have to alert the national security and the police about it. It again runs to the same point. The last question, the person who asked the last question. So it's the same thing about the culture of the people that we govern. How would you just go and be stealing a line? I can understand sometimes, but it is the responsibility of the law enforcement agency to do that. I am a minister. I'm responsible to build, rail lines. So the best we have done and which we continue to do is to alert the various agencies. And I think the police have worked very, very well on that. The national security have been informed. And so I just want to use this medium to sound a warning that, if you are caught, you'll be dealt with. The law is there. People who are caught will definitely be dealt with. So it's true that filtering is going on. Yes.
Okay. Another questioner wants you to clarify more on the park and ride. Do you have a parking lot at these stations where a person can come and park their car and take the train to Accra or Tema and know that their car is safe?
Beautiful parking lot. Built to international standards. You enjoy in the night time. You can have the best of all. I mean, every facility is at this station. The parking lot, you have, washroom, offices, big vast area for entertainment and a lot of other facilities.
Okay.
So this is one of the modern stations that we put in up here.
Okay. Mausi's question from Abutia 30.
My goodness.
His question is from Abutia 30 in the Volta, which is an area you know much about. He wants to know how much it will cost to ride, but I'm sure you are yet to figure out the pricing. Have you settled on the fares yet?
How much it will cost to
take a train from, say, Akosombo, if you have the fare list yet?
Well, I think from Japan to Accra, we're estimating 80 Ghana cedis.
That's a lot too. How much does a trotro charge?
We I have no idea about how much a trotro charge is.
Look, I'm doing the analysis. I'm doing analysis. That's almost 1 million old CDs. Maro Bucho Japonva again.
It's not up to 1 million.
800,000. I mean, just to sit in a train. I mean, if I can sit in a 207 Benz bus, I'm not sure it'll be 80 CDs.
No, but this takes you in and takes you back. I mean, we're looking at the. So I think it's between 80 and Ghana, 100 Ghana cedis.
So
the comfort, also the discomfort that you'll be, considering the traffic and all this. I think this fare is quite fair, and we will try to explain to our customers as we progress about the need to board this train when we start the operation.
So many questions are coming through. I'm not sure we can exhaust all of them. We have to do a sit down so that we can answer all these. But someone wants you to give this train to a private sector company to run. Is that something you would consider? And also, are private people allowed to buy trains and put on this track like a normal road?
Yeah, of course, there's a third-party access. In every modern institution, we try to create a third-party access. And so what we're expecting to do is that if you're a private person and you have for instance, the one for the freight, which people had already applied, we'll open it up for free. And you can bring in your train and run on it. Government construct roads from Accra to Hohe, and you see the state bus running on it. You see private people running on it. And so it is a similar, approach that the trains are also going to run. With this particular one, there are two schools of thought, and they yet to get the clarification and final approval from cabinet to see how we're going to progress. The first school of thought was to come out with some, just like the Ghana Railway Company, of course belonging to government to run. And then the second one is to get a private person to partner, this company and run it. People think that there's nothing stopping government in going to competition with private sector. All over the world, governments are in competition with private sector. If you go to China, most of their best, companies are government companies, and they are in competition with the private sector. We can also do the same in Ghana. So it is not everything that Ghana government runs that is being run down. We should also begin to acknowledge that government has some positive in terms of gains in some areas. And so we can also equally go into competition in the private sector.
Last but one question. Oti Mensah says, when will the trains on the Nsawam-Accra stretch start running? When are you going to open that track?
That's a good question. I can say it offhand now. It all has to do with funding, and I hope you are all aware of our funding issue. So we'll continue to. I can't give you a straight answer to that. I have no idea, please.
Now, my favorite question. This one is from me. When are we going to see the Sky Train that your predecessor promised us?
The Sky Train?
Yes, when are we going to see the train in the sky?
Well,
in
since I
Accra.
received office, I haven't worked anything on the Sky Train. So I don't think you'll see during my tenure as a Minister of Finance, a Minister of Railway Development. What we intend to do is to approach the Ministry of Finance and solicit some support, as my predecessor started before he left office. The Ministry of Finance was more like the ministry that was driving the financial aspect of bringing that train into the country. I know some progress have been made. The new Minister of Finance is yet to be briefed, and we sit down together to see how we continue. But I don't see it working immediately during my tenure as a Minister of Railway Development. That is not possible, and it cannot be possible.
Thank you. There's someone asking from Hohoe when the train is going to reach there. I don't know if you have an answer for that. When is the track going to go upwards in the OT region so it forms the eastern corridor stretch to the north?
With past experiences, and what I've noticed is that it takes about 4 to 5 years to construct a 100 kilometers line. So if the money is made available today, maybe in the next 5 years.
Thank you so much for speaking to us, Minister.
Thank you.
That's the Honorable Minister for Railway Development, John Peter Amewu, his MP for Hohoe.